ESPN. Oregon, after an opening loss to Auburn, many thought they were out of the national championship picture, but they played great defense lately, Holly Rowe.
That's right. Since that opening loss to Auburn, this Oregon defense has been lockdown defense. They are one of the leaders in the country, allowing just 257 yards per game. But they are the leaders in the country in several other key stats, including touchdowns, points per game, red zone touchdowns allowed, and hey, takeaways with 8 interceptions. They have been adept at getting that football back. They're also getting some great news today. Their playmaker of the year, Troy Dye, who leads this team in tackles, and their best nickel safety combination is Javon Holloman. They were both banged up last week in that game. They are both good to go, and the coaches say we need a huge game from both of them today.
Washington won the toss and deferred. Auburn, in that opening win over Oregon, scored 27 points in the 5 games since for Oregon against Nevada, Montana, Stanford, Cal, and Colorado. The Ducks have given up a total of 25 points. They'll be on offense first. Tim Horn is the kickoff specialist for Washington. Line drive kick and a good one. And Travis Dye will take a knee. So here comes Oregon on offense, led by Justin Herbert. As Todd told you, grew up about 2 miles from the Duck Stadium in Eugene, Autzen Stadium. Went to many games as a young boy. 35 straight games with a passing touchdown. That is the longest active streak in the country. He has thrown 17 touchdown passes this year, and only 1 interception, is completing 69% of his throws, but they also lean very heavily on a power running game. They shift C.J. Verdell back into the pistol, and this is one of their favorite formations. And they run Verdell straight ahead. He got belted down. Miles Bryant, the primary hit, and Kyler Manu there as well.
This will be a very physical challenge for this Oregon team. They want to run the football, but this is a solid Husky defense.
Swing pass. C.J. Verdell. First down. Just across the line to make. Elijah Molden in on the tackle. With help from Levi Onzarike.
You always see that with Justin Herbert. His first couple passes, little quick ones, get him in rhythm before he takes a shot downfield.
Swings it out to the near side. Jalen Redd, their greatest threat outside across midfield. And Oregon very quickly into Husky territory after a 21-yard gain.
Quick, safe throws, kind of RPO-type throws. You know, they want to run the football, but if Washington is going to load the box on them, they're going to get that ball out quickly and get it into playmakers' hands, and Jalen Redd's certainly one of those guys for the Ducks.
They're watching the last play
under review
to see if the knee was down from Jalen Redd. It looks like it
sure
was as he caught the ball, so they will likely bring this back a considerable distance. Yeah, no question, knee down after the catch. It looks like he was back just shy of his own 35-yard line. The play went to the 44 of Washington.
Yeah, this is a huge play because it was a good gain by Redd, and that actually was caught and stopped behind the line of scrimmage, I believe.
Chris Coit is the referee today, leading this Pac-12 crew. Todd, good start for Oregon. Looked like they were quickly establishing a rhythm, and sometimes a delay like this can take you out of that.
Yeah, they were using a little bit of tempo, and again, they're putting so much more on Justin Herbert this year. He started so many games.
The runner's knee was down at the 34-yard line where the ball was spotted. Second down.
So a big turn of events there in favor of the Washington Huskies. Not only is it second down, it's second, and you've lost yardage. You're behind the chains now on that turn of events.
Yeah, loss of 2 on the play. So Herbert 2 for 2, but for just 5 yards. Mario Cristobal is the head coach at Oregon. 9 wins a year ago, a bowl win over Michigan State. Hoping for more than that this year. Play action pass. C.J. Verdell did well to stay on his feet, get an extra yard or two. Miles Bryant, the only returning starter off their defense of a year ago, involved in that play again.
We should mention also, Sean, as we get ready for our third down play, a key injury for Oregon a week ago. Tight end Jacob Breland injured his knee, is out for the year. He was Herbert's go-to guy on third down.
That is a huge loss. Breland was leading all tight ends in the country in touchdown receptions with 6. He's particularly a big target in the red zone. Very loud as usual here at Husky Stadium. Herbert on target. Johnny Johnson gets the first down and is out of bounds at midfield. 11-yard gain, and Herbert hasn't missed yet.
Zone defense. That was a bail technique by the corner, Keith Taylor. Well read by Herbert. And also Johnny Johnson to get the first down.
Herbert's thrown 68 straight passes now without an interception. His only interception of the year ended a streak of 175 straight without a pick. C.J. Verdell, the ball carrier. And he's to the Husky 43. He scored the game-winning touchdown, a 6-yard run in overtime last year to give Oregon a 30-27 win over the Huskies in Eugene, one of the great games of the season in college football. It was after Washington had kicked a field goal when they had the ball in the OT. Verdell turns the corner, first down. He got walloped by Bryant up top. Bryant's not a big guy, only 5'9". As a matter of fact, he came here as a walk-on because many thought he was too small. He's not too small to hit hard.
No, he's an excellent tackler. This is a very good tackling football team. Both teams do a great job of getting guys on the ground, but Oregon running with great success here in this opening possession.
You asked Bryant yesterday about tackling. He said it's 90% desire and 10% technique. Herbert fake the short pass out wide, has a receiver open. First down inside the 15. It's Brendan Schooler. They'll mark him out at the 13-yard line. 1st and 10 for Oregon.
They had a trip bunch to the wide side of the field. They love to fake that screen, and Herbert's seeing everything right now.
Timeout Oregon, their first of the half. Timeout on the field.
They're crisply on the move. Herbert 5 for 5 on this opening drive.
Timeout.
Now, this is his replacement, Hunter Campmoyer. We'll see a couple tight ends. They won't miss Breland as much in the run game. Campmoyer, an excellent run-blocking tight end. Where they miss Breland will be in that pass game. But so far, a great start for the Oregon offense on their opening possession.
C.J. Verdell got stuffed. Levi Onwuzurike leading the way for the Husky defensive front. We talked about the Oregon defense in Holly Rowe's report, but this is a sturdy Washington defense as well, giving up just 19.5 points per game.
They've been very good in the red zone, not giving up touchdowns. Only 50% of red zone possessions have resulted in a touchdown.
They've outscored their opponents 90-6 in the first quarter this year. The Huskies giving up just 2 field goals. High snap through the hands of Herbert. Showing his athleticism, slides down and then takes a late hit. Big mistake by the true freshman, Asa Turner. He knows that he made a mistake. He grabbed his helmet and ran away in disbelief. Just inserted into the starting lineup
The play
last
ended
week.
when the quarterback began his slide. After the play, personal foul, late hit, defense number 20. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
It's absolutely the right call, and you're right. Turner knew it as soon as it happened. I mean, first of all, Herbert does a great job of collecting the football and eluding the pressure, but at this point he gives himself up, realizes the play is dead, and it's not a lot of contact, but it's enough to draw the flag on the freshman Asa Turner. He replaced a true freshman in Cameron Williams and played very well last week, but that's a tough break right there.
Freshman from Carlsbad, California, highly recruited. For a while, looked like he was leaning toward Notre Dame, and then he came back to commit to the Washington Huskies. Big break for Oregon, 1st and 10 from the 11. opening possession of the game. Verdell right up the middle. First and goal at the 1. He lunged for the goal line, couldn't quite get there.
Well, we talked about Panay Sewell. He was pulling and leading on that play. Got a nice block.
Huskies scramble to line up on defense. It's Verdell again, and a nice tackle by Joe Tryon. There is a flag down.
Holding. Offense. Number 75. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
The right guard, Dallas Warmack, second year at Oregon, graduate transfer from Alabama.
Yeah, right in the middle of the play, and it was pretty obvious. He kind of grabbed him and ripped him down away from the ball carrier. So a penalty that hurts the Huskies. Now one inside the 5 that hurts the Oregon Ducks.
You mentioned the pistol. Jimmy Lake, the defensive coordinator for Washington, said they're particularly concerned with the last couple of plays. That handoff straight ahead, almost like it's a dive. They fake a dive. They throw a touchdown pass. Spencer Webb, who's been a tight end and a wide receiver, now back to tight end for the most part in the absence of Breland, and he has his second touchdown of the season to cap a very impressive opening drive.
Well, this linebacker and this safety are the guys that Justin Herbert's going to read. He makes a good ball fake. That holds the linebacker, and all he needs is a small window to fit that ball in between the underneath coverage and the deeper coverage. And what an impressive drive in overcoming the penalty by Oregon and Justin Herbert.
35 straight games with a touchdown pass, far and away the longest such streak in the country. Camden Lewis adds the extra point. Well, the Oregon Ducks take the opening kickoff and go 75 yards in 12 plays. Webb was a tight end when the year started, but they had 3 key injuries at wide receiver, which depleted the depth there, so he went over to the wide receiver room. And now with Breland gone, he's mostly a tight end. They said he may also see some action at wide receiver.
Well, he's kind of that hybrid guy. He lost a little weight when he moved out to wide receiver. He's listed at 6'6", 245, but excellent hands. And so in this drive now, we saw Camp Moyer block well as the tight end, and Spencer Webb comes in and catches the pass for the touchdown.
Webb said he's had a good time recently eating a lot to try to put that weight back on.
Yeah.
That's a problem a lot of us would like to have. Webb, a redshirt freshman from Sacramento.
The other impressive thing about that drive, I know a lot of the throws were quick throws, but absolutely no pressure on Justin Herbert whatsoever.
Camden Lewis will kick off. Aaron Fuller back deep. The Huskies are without Sean McGrew today, one of their top running backs and their leading kickoff return man. He's out with a foot and shoulder injury. They don't think it'll be a long time out, but he's an excellent kickoff return man. Fuller, a little trickery on the opening kickoff. Here's Chico McClatcher up the near sideline and almost to midfield. Well, when you play a Chris Peterson team, you have to be alert for just about anything, and he doesn't wait long to go into the bag of tricks.
Sean, I looked up and I said, what is Chico McClatcher doing? He's going to just go flat on the ground and lay on his stomach when this play starts. That's to ensure that he was going to be behind the ball, so there would be a legal play, and their first special teams play of the game is extremely special for the Huskies.
There is a flag down back on the goal line near where McClatcher was lying flat on his face. So far, the ball is still out near midfield, but there was a flag thrown on the goal line along the near sideline, and the officials in conference. Head linesman is Darrell Johnson.
During the kick, unsportsmanlike conduct, receiving team number 6 laying in the end zone. The 15-yard penalty is enforced at the previous spot with a re-kick from the 50-yard line.
All right, let's bring in our rules expert, Bill Lamagnier. Bill?
One of the things they put in a year or two ago was you cannot take a player and lay him down to decoy like he's not on the field. And he laid down in the end zone to blend in with the end zone so the kicking team couldn't see him. Then he got up and he went, and he's the guy that caught the backward pass. That's why it's an unsportsmanlike conduct foul. But it was instituted a couple of years ago because so many of the teams were doing deceptive things in relation to the color of their jerseys laying in the end zone.
So if he would have laid down on the green part of the field, it would not have been a penalty, or what? I don't quite get that.
Is the rule book that specific? You cannot lie down on the part of the field that matches your uniform color?
Well, that was the intent of the rule. But if you do it to deceive your opponents that you're out of the play or injured, it becomes a foul.
I see.
But you'll see more teams do it with their jerseys matching the color.
Well, obviously, Chris Peterson didn't know that was not, you're not able to do that.
No, I don't think McClatcher did that on his own. Let me ask you this question, Bill. It's pretty standard, is it not, if you have some sort of a trick play like that you alert the officials before the game?
Well, I've had Coach Peterson, and he's very, very cautious about what he tells you about his trick plays.
Sort of like in our meetings. Now the kickoff from midfield, so that is a huge break, obviously, for Oregon. So by what you, and I know you're going to the rule book right now to look it up, but you believe that was the right call based on what you believe the rule to be?
Based on what the rules are, that plays out of the books these days.
Well, he was standing upright. Isn't it the kicking team's obligation to keep track of him?
Yes and no, but when you have a kick that goes to the other side and he's over on this side, that was an intentional act to deceive.
Yes, it was.
Tonight on ABC and the ESPN app, 7:30 Eastern time, another one of the ranked versus ranked matchups, and a huge one to Big Ten. Number 16, Michigan. Number 7, Penn State, presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. A whiteout tonight at Beaver Stadium. So Washington, instead of starting from the 44, starts from its own 25, and it's a short pass to Puka Nacua. Virtually no gain on the play. Jacob Eason is the quarterback. Started his collegiate career at Georgia. 2 seasons there. Injured at the start of his second year. Lost the starting quarterback job to Jake Fromm and transferred home to the University of Washington. Prolific career at Lake Stevens. Just a little bit north of here. He told us about a 45-minute drive. Savon Ahmed carries to the 38-yard line, and a Washington first down. He'll be the primary ball carrier today, as they're without Sean McGrew and also Richard Newton.
Yeah, 2 very good players. Now, Washington uses their tight ends a lot. They play 3-4 different guys. That time, Jack Westover, number 37, lined up as a fullback and got an outstanding block. But their tight ends are very important in what they do offensively.
Plenty of time for Eason, and his pass dropped by Kamari Pleasant. He's a running back who'll see more playing time than usual today because of the injuries to McGrew and Newton.
This is really a good decision by Eason not to force the ball. And if Pleasant catches this, he's got a lot of green grass in front of him. It's man coverage. He had already separated from his cover guy. He had a lot of room to run.
I just want to go back to the rule book. If you're not supposed to deceive the other team, why can you run a play-action pass, or why can you disguise your coverages in the secondary? I think we should take it all the way through. There's a toss to Ahmed, and he's stacked up by this outstanding Oregon defense.
Ahmed bobbled this pitch, and that's why the play got off to a slow start. Watch him kind of bobble, lose control. It gets on his hip. He has to stop completely, and this Oregon defense is so fast. They lead the Pac-12 in tackles for loss, and now they've put Jacob Eason and this Husky offense in a position they do not want to be in. 3rd and long, Oregon's defense has been outstanding.
They struggled on 3rd down. The offense, in the words of Coach Peterson and the offensive coordinator Bush Hamden, has been inconsistent. And obviously, when you drop a pass, that would have been a big play. That contributes to inconsistency. Ahmed could not break away from the tackle of the cornerback, Thomas Graham.
We talked about both of these teams being good tackling football teams. That's a very nice open field tackle by Thomas Graham. He's the field corner. Lenore, the corner on the boundary side, has probably been their best cover guy, but it's a good 3rd down tackle by Thomas Graham.
Joel Whitford to punt. Fifth-year senior from Australia. Very little wind in the stadium today with the rain falling and the temperature in the high 40s. And the punt will be downed at the 17-yard line. 46-yard kick. 7-0 Oregon back on offense after this. Cities in America in terms of the physical beauty.
A lot of fun. Jeff was our pilot, did a great job. 10 more air.
On the jet sweep action, it's Jalen Red with a flag down. Keith Taylor and Miles Bryant, a couple of defensive backs combining on the play.
There is no foul on the play. The contact was ruled legal. Second down.
The jet sweep. Oregon showing a little bit of everything right now. They thought about calling that a blindside block. That's been a new point of emphasis this year. Jalen Red got a nice block there. They decided to pull the flag, and the play stands for the Ducks.
Justin Herbert 6 for 6 on their opening drive, which ended in a touchdown. C.J. Verdell fought to get back to the line of scrimmage and did not.
Big play right here for the Washington defense. They got them third down. They're in their own territory, Oregon is. If they can get a stop and get off the field here, have a chance to flip some field position for their offense.
Pass incomplete for C.J. Verdell. The freshman Asa Turner trying to catch up in coverage.
It's just a bad throw by Justin Herbert. The only bad throw he's had so far. He didn't set his feet. He thought the pressure was going to be quicker on him, and he kind of threw that thing as he was backpedaling and didn't get enough on the ball. If he sets his feet, he hits Verdell easily, and Verdell makes the first down easily.
So here's Blake Maimone, second year as the Oregon punter. Coach Cristobal told us last night he's much improved over a year ago. Last year, a lot of line drives, get better hang time this year. This one's not very good, short and wobbly, and it takes a bad bounce. It'll be down just across midfield. Just a 32-yard punt. Maimone indicating the high snap threw him off. This season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, All-State will make a contribution to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Been a great program for many years. Thank you, All-State. Well, they call it the greatest setting in college football here on the campus of the University of Washington. It's hard to argue. Right on the Union Bay portion of Lake Washington, just to our right.
Good opportunity right here in this field position. A little play action. Take a shot down the field for Jacob Eason.
The lone back is Savon Ahmed. He takes the pitch and crosses midfield to the Oregon 47-yard line, where he's tackled by Troy Dye, who's been their leading tackler each of the last 3 seasons.
Well, one guy that we're not seeing out there right now very much for Washington is Aaron Fuller, one of their best receivers, punt returner. He looked a little banged up in practice when we saw him on Friday, hobbling around a little bit. They've got a couple younger guys in there right now, Terrell Bynum, and of course Puka Nacua, who we already saw catch a pass earlier.
A big loss for Washington. Fuller has 40 catches this season. Ahmed spins his way down very near another first down. The safety, Nick Pickett, made the tackle for Oregon.
Another nice block by Jack Westover, lined up. He's listed as a tight end. He's lining up as a fullback, doing a nice job of peeling back and leading on that play. This is a Washington team that believes in their offensive line. They want to establish the run, very similar to the way Oregon likes to play. Right now they got some momentum.
Their left tackle, Trey Adams, if he's not as good as Sewell, Oregon, he's close behind. Wildcat, Kamari Pleasant, hit behind the line of scrimmage, got back to the line, and that's about it. Lamar Winston made the tackle. Chris Peterson's team has struggled on third down all year, so they tried the Wildcat, and it didn't work.
See, Richard Newton, the running back who's hurt, has been their Wildcat quarterback. Got hurt in the Stanford game. Pleasant just not able to get a lot ahead of steam, and Winston makes the tackle, and 4th and short. Could be quarterback sneak right here with a push from behind.
They're going for on 4th down. That's what it is. Eason's every bit of 6'6". Oregon indicating they think they haven't stopped.
I think you got to know.
It looks like based on our 1st and 10 line he has it, but they'll call for a measurement. We spoke to Jacob Eason yesterday. He admitted to being 6'6 1/4. Here's a look at the play.
You might need that 1/4 inch right here on this one.
You know, it's interesting. Before, short quarterbacks tried to claim they were taller because short quarterbacks didn't get a chance. Then Drew Brees and Russell Wilson and others came along, and now, you know, Kyler Murray gets a chance. There have been very few first down for watching really tall quarterbacks.
Right.
It's almost as if these two don't want to say they're 6'7", because when you stand next to them, I would say they're both taller than 6'6".
Yeah, they're big dudes. Yeah, they're big dudes. Now you got your speed guy. Bocelli is up here, number 5. He's got the best top-end speed of the wide receiver group. See if they can get a one-on-one matchup.
Been a non-factor lately. They throw it over the middle, and it's incomplete. Intended for the tight end, Hunter Bryant. Troy Dye broke it up. Another similarity, Tom, between these two teams. They both like to throw the ball to the tight ends.
This is a wonderful play by Troy Dye. Watch 35 get underneath the route, read the eyes of the tight end, and slip his left arm up there right as he anticipates the football coming. He doesn't turn and find the ball. He just reads the eyes of the intended receiver, Hunter Bryant, and makes a clutch play.
Veteran player, 40 consecutive starts. Troy Dye, the senior from Norco, California. Savon Ahmed upended. Went down close to the 35. It'll be 3rd down and 4 for Washington. Under 4 minutes to go in the first quarter, and Oregon leading 7-0.
I think you got to keep an eye on that guy, 87, Cade Otten, on this 3rd and 4 play.
He's got 12 passes this year. They hand it off inside. Ahmed.
Good second effort.
Yeah, he's just 5'11", 196, but he is powerfully put together.
Nice little combination block by the right tackle on the tight end. Watch him just kind of exchange here. Ahmed gets right on the hip of the tight end, Otten, and then keeps pushing for the first down.
Ahmed, their leading rusher for the year, averages 87 yards per game, has had a couple of 100-plus. They'll stick with him, has blockers along the near sideline, gets shoved out of bounds with a quality play on first down. They'll spot it at the 24-yard line.
Washington loves to kind of outflank you. Go ahead and roll this play. You're going to see Ahmed get to the outside, but they had tight ends to the outside that outflank the defense. They love to use shifts in motion with their tight ends to kind of get an extra blocker. That time they got the edge pretty easily.
Big left tackle getting out in front there, Adams. Quick pop, first down, Terrell Bynum. Sophomore out of Long Beach, California, tackled by Javon Holland, who is an emerging star at safety and nickel for Oregon. Good. Kirk Herbstreit said this morning on game day, he's one of the best defensive backs, maybe the best that a lot of people around the country have not heard of.
He's very versatile. He's got great football instincts, and on 3rd down situations, they do a lot of different things with him. Move him all over the field.
Murray Pleasant, the running back now. A yard, and that's all. Mason Funa, true freshman out of Anaheim, California, in on the stop.
Jackson Kirkland, the right guard, pulled on that play, and instead of blocking an Oregon Duck, he actually knocked Hunter Bryant, the tight end, off of a block, and Funa was the guy who he was blocking, and that's who ended up making the tackle.
Saw Oregon's given up just 4 touchdowns all season. It's only the 15th time their opponents have been in the red zone all season, and this the 7th game. Single coverage up for grabs and incomplete for the freshman Puka Nacua with Thomas Graham in coverage.
A little miscommunication that time. Nacua looked like he was going to try to break that route inside, and Eason was throwing it to the back shoulder or the outside fade, and no chance on that one.
Well, Nacua emerged in their win, come from behind last weekend at Arizona. He had 3 catches in that game. He has 4 all year. We were asking Eason yesterday how come he hasn't played more. He said it takes a while in this offense to learn the playbook. That play might indicate he's still learning. Eason over the middle. Caught by Bynum. He lunges for the line to gain. It doesn't look like he's going to get the spot.
Really nice effort by Bynum, though, because instead of running to the sideline, he turned upfield and got very close.
It looks like they're going to go for it again on 4th down. They converted on the quarterback sneak earlier on this drive.
Well, the leader of their offensive line is their center, Nick Harris.
The late pitch. Ahmed broke a tackle and has the end zone. Touchdown, Washington.
Really nice job. They're just going to run the speed option and read this guy here. As Eason comes down the line, he attacks the shoulder. As soon as that man commits to him, he flips it to Ahmed. They kind of fooled him with that option on 4th and very short.
Troy Dye, ordinarily a very sure tackler, whiffed along the sideline. So 2 4th down conversions, and the extra point up and good by Peyton Henry. 20 seconds to go in a very entertaining first quarter in this rivalry game. Oregon 7, Washington 7 in Seattle. Given up now 2 touchdowns since their opening week loss to Auburn. The only touchdown of the 5 games since was 2 games ago against Cal. They've gone 64 opponents' drives, having allowed just that 1 touchdown. Now 2 touchdowns allowed in 65 drives. After the touchback, here's Holly.
Well, guys, you saw that Troy Dye missed that tackle on the touchdown drive there, but he is being attended to on the sideline. This is a huge developing story for Oregon's defense. He does everything for them. He's got blood all over his jersey. They're trying to clean the blood off right now. Looks like his right thumb has been injured. They've covered it with tape, but he's got blood everywhere. They're trying to get that off so he can return to this game.
All right, Holly, thank you. We know you'll keep an eye on that. Out of the pistol again. C.J. Verdell trying to run left, and he got stopped for a loss.
It's like a bare defensive front that time by Washington. They cover up the 2 guards and the center, and then they have 2 outside linebackers. Very physical defensive front, and get a good stop on 1st down.
Benny Pochowai on what is the last play of the first quarter. Oregon and Washington tied at 7 in ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC. We'll return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Back at Husky Stadium in Seattle, Sean McDonough, Todd Blackledge, and Holly Rowe tied at 7 as we head to the second quarter. Oregon on offense. 2nd down and 11. Out of the pistol. Justin Herbert throws, and it's broken up on excellent coverage by Kyler Gordon, who flicked it away from Brendan Schooler.
Yeah, Schooler and Pittman were on the same side, and both of them were blanketed. Excellent tight man-to-man coverage on both outside receivers, and a nice job by Gordon to knock that ball away.
He's a redshirt freshman. It's a very young secondary for Washington. We mentioned Miles Bryant, the only returnee. Several of those who departed after last year went on to NFL camps, including Byron Murphy. Herbert on the run. Throws it short of Micah Pittman. And the Oregon Ducks will punt.
Nice job covering downfield. It was a four-man rush, and Miles Bryant, who's kind of their do-everything guy on third down, he was right in the middle of the field eyeballing Justin Herbert. That's why Herbert didn't try to run for that, because Bryant kind of had him sized up if he would have left the pocket to run.
The last punt from Mamone was short. The snap not quite as high from Karsten Battles, and it's a better kick. Chico McClatcher to the near sideline at the 27 and flattened right there. Daewood Davis, a wide receiver for Oregon with outstanding punt coverage. 49-yard punt and absolutely no return. Kick off your Week 7 NFL Sunday with the Countdown Crew on ESPN and the ESPN app. That's at 10 a.m. Eastern. Our Sunday NFL Countdown Crew will have all the early breaking stories, injury updates. They'll preview each game right after the kickoff, and then we'll cap off Week 7 of the NFL's 50th season of Monday Night Football on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the app at 8 with the New England Patriots and the New York Jets. Countdown kicks off our coverage at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Well, good news for Oregon, as Holly reported. Dye is back on the field, has that right thumb and forearm wrapped up pretty good, though.
Jacob Eason on first down over the middle to his tight end, Cade Otton. That's good for just more than 10 and a quick first down to get the drive started.
Nice accurate throw by Eason, too, because Dye was coming to the right side, and he threw it to the opposite armpit where Otton could catch it and turn upfield for a first down.
Speaking of the NFL, by the way, big game here in Seattle tomorrow as the Seahawks host the Baltimore Ravens. One of the appealing matchups of Week 7. Ravens already here in town. Saban Ahmed, nice cut. And another first down. Nick Pickett, a safety, forced to make the tackle there at the 50-yard line and on the move.
Well, watch the block of Otton right here on Holland, one of the best players. And Ahmed sees that block and cuts inside of it. That stretch play, you can cut anywhere you want on that play. He saw the block on Holland, cut it inside for a huge gain.
52 yards already for Ahmed. Just a minute and a half into the second quarter. They'll stick with him, and he lunges forward for 2. Good tackle by Bryson Young. Of all the amazing factoids about this Oregon defense, that's really been historically great in many ways to this point. They haven't had anybody lead the team in tackles in a game more than once this year.
Different guy,
different leading tackler in every game. I don't know that I've ever seen that this deep into a season.
A lot of contributors in all their categories, which it's really been kind of exciting to watch.
New defensive coordinator is Andy Avalos. Came over from Boise State. He's been fantastic. Eason deep throw. Man behind the defense. Touchdown, Jordan Chin.
The play action has set this up. They've run with some success. They told us yesterday, Bush Hampton said, we might see more Jordan Chin. He's kind of a vertical guy. That time he got beyond the defense, and a perfect throw by Jacob Eason, but it was set up by Ahmed's running and their ability to set up that play action throw.
48 yards. Peyton Henry the extra point. That is the first play of 40 or more yards given up by the Oregon defense this year. The only other team coming in who hadn't given up a 40-yard play all season was South Florida. Eason to Chin, just Chin's second catch of the year, and the Huskies have the lead. Pretty student sections and passionate fans like these by awarding the Live Moss Student Section of the Year. The Washington Huskies Student Section is already on the national watch list. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell. See how your school can compete or get the committee's attention by using the hashtag Live Moss Student Section Contest. Tim Horn to kick off. Travis Dye, Daewood Davis back deep for Oregon. And Dye is likely going to down it anyway, even if he didn't struggle on the catch. Here's today's Crunch Time, brought to you by Cheez-It.
And anytime you have a play-action pass, you have layers, and you read the free safety. This is Nick Pickett. He's usually going to stay deep, but he's going to get hung up jumping on the tight end. That's Hunter Bryant. So as Jacob Eason comes out of his fake, he sees that deep safety vacate, and he knows he has no help over the top. Makes a beautiful throw to Jordan Chin. If that safety stays deep, you throw it underneath to the tight end. That safety jump, take it all the way to the house.
It's the third career catch for Chin. He had one last week against Arizona for 39 yards. He had one in the Rose Bowl against Ohio State. After the fakes, Herbert throws. Nowhere near his intended receiver. Got knocked down. Johnny Johnson wanted a flag because of that hit.
We talked a lot about this Oregon offensive line, and they've made a little replacement right now. Dallas Warmack, the starting right guard, is out. Brady Aiello is in at right guard. Aiello plays a lot. He's kind of a swing guy, does a lot for him, but he's in there right now in place of Dallas Warmack.
Most experienced offensive line in the country, and perhaps the best. 188 combined starts. Check down. The ball comes out from Jalen Red.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. Third down.
But Joe Tryon there. Asa Turner scooped it up, but the play was dead. And here comes third down and 10 for Herbert and the Ducks.
A lot of good things happened for the Huskies on that play. First, they caused some confusion for Justin Herbert. He had to double clutch. And then they also got a good hit on him leading into this third down play.
Started 6 for 6. He's 0 for 5 passing since. They've had 2 straight 3-and-outs, trying to avoid another. 4 wide receivers. Herbert all kinds of time. Couldn't find a receiver. Throws low. Off target. Micah Pittman circled open in the middle of the field, and Herbert all of a sudden a little off after that very strong start.
Well, when we talked to Jimmy Lake yesterday, he said, look, the guy's really good, but we think if we can get him to some third and long situations, we can create some confusion with what we do. That time is a 3-man rush. They dropped 8. And neither one of these quarterbacks, as good as their arms are, neither one of them throws particularly well when they're forced to move.
Saw Jimmy Lake, defensive coordinator here. One of the best in the country. He'll certainly be a head coach someday, sooner rather than later. Again, not a very good punt by Maimon. Just 36 yards and out of bounds. There is a flag down.
During the kick, holding receiving team number 48. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down.
Jacob Eason, mentioned briefly at the top of the telecast. Gatorade National Player of the Year at Lake Stevens High School, about 45 minutes from here. Decided to go to Georgia. Started as a true freshman. They won 8 games. Was the starter the next year, but hurt his knee. Lost the job to Jake Fromm, who took him to the national championship game. So he transferred back to Washington. Had to sit out last year as a transfer. And this will probably be his only season playing here. He is a junior, could come back next year, but he said to us yesterday, I'm just going to enjoy the year. It sounded like a guy who made up his mind he was on to the NFL after this season.
I'm not so sure that's the greatest decision for him or not. I mean, he's certainly capable of doing that. But you got to remember, he started as a freshman in 2016, and this is his first time in 2 years starting again. So he still is learning and growing as a starting quarterback.
Just 21 years old. Goes under center here with Kamari Pleasant, the running back. Hunter Bryant, the tight end, across midfield and out of bounds in Oregon territory.
Wow, watch the center. The leader of their offense, Nick Harris. Watch Nick Harris get a block at the line of scrimmage to slow the rush and then get out in front of this screen to the tight end. Boom! 2 big blocks on the play, and Hunter Bryant takes over, makes it a nice game for the Huskies.
You mentioned these are 2 outstanding offensive lines. He's a highly ranked center by Todd McShay, senior out of Inglewood, California. Savon Ahmed, nice little jump cut. He's down inside the 42. Here's Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, you're talking about that center for Washington, Nick Harris. He did not make the trip to Arizona last week, and as a result, just 134 yards in that first half. Jacob Eason, the quarterback, told us we were missing his leadership. He is the leader of this Washington offense. He said, I had to step up and say some words at halftime, get our guys going, but they are so happy to have Nick Harris back. You can see it on the field with what he brings.
A great leader. Plays with a chip on his shoulder all the time. You can see it on that play.
Eason stepped up, just talked about the need to finish drives, finish the game, and they did. Ahmed got finished by Isaac Slade Matuia.
Isaac's very athletic, plays inside linebacker, but he's just as comfortable out in space as he is around the line of scrimmage. You see it on that open field tackle. Big third down play right here for the Oregon defense.
Slade Matuia is from Honolulu, St. Louis High School, the same high school that sent Marcus Mariota to Oregon. Trouble with the snap, and back on it is Eason, but it's a huge loss. Back inside the 40-yard line. It looks like they're going to...
You know, we talked about Nick Harris. This was a bad snap. It was high and to the right over the outside shoulder. And Eason does a good job of just covering the football. Punting a football in a game like this, probably going to be a fourth quarter game. Not a bad thing to have happen.
They brought the ball back to the 37 where Eason first possessed it before he started sliding. Hard to snap it too high for him. Here's Joel Whitford to punt.
Dangerous return man also.
And Javon Holland, second in the country in punt return average. At almost 22 per return. Only Jalen Waddle of Alabama better. Good punt. Down at the 15-yard line by Alex Cook. 50-yard punt. 50, the American game. The subject is Notre Dame, and then on Thursday night at 7 they'll talk about uniforms, the greatest uniforms, discussed by our panel of experts. Apparently when you put together all kinds of combinations, and this uniform today is called Blizzard. They give names.
They have a theme, right? A theme for their uniforms.
I guess, you know, the white jerseys and the silver helmet. Yeah. Blizzard. But they could have thousands of different combinations. All the various colors. Quick pass. Jalen Red almost broke free. Stumbled ahead for a first down for Oregon to the 30-yard line. They had 75 yards on their opening touchdown drive. They still had 75 for the game before this possession began. Now up to 90. Washington has 144 yards of offense and a 7-point lead. Travis Dye chopped down.
Well, one thing we're seeing right now is that Oregon is having a little more difficulty running the football than they've had the last 2 weeks. They had a season-high 252 yards against Colorado last week, 190 the week before that against Cal. But it's a little tougher deal going against this Husky defense today.
Good tackle by Latuli Nasanoa. Oh, errant throw by Herbert. Way behind Josh Delgado.
Right now, I mean, Justin Herbert, we saw got off to the great start. He's a little out of sorts. Their whole offense is a little out of sorts because they're not able to run the football with the kind of success that they've been used to the last few weeks. Putting a lot of pressure on their pass protection and their wide receivers right now.
The screen. Travis Dye stumbles out of bounds, way short of the first down. They'll mark him at the 33. Josiah Bronson there for Jimmy Lake's defense.
Well, they're doing a great job stopping the Oregon run first and foremost. If you look at the best teams that they played early in the season, Auburn, they only ran for 90 yards, only 61 yards in the game we did at Stanford. Then they had a week off. They thought they got some things figured out in their running game with their O-line. In the last 2 weeks, outstanding. But today, again, against this rugged Washington defense, tough sledding so far. Tough dog sledding.
Blake Mamone hasn't had a great day. This is another low kick that goes out of bounds on the near sideline. 41-yard punt and no return. That worked out well for Mamone and the Ducks. Time now for the Aflac trivia question. Husky Stadium is one of 3 FBS stadiums. Would it be stadiums accessible by water? What are the other 2? And what do we mean by accessible?
No,
you can
I know this
pull, like Tennessee, right?
That's one of them. And I know the other one.
Accessible by water mean?
You get out of a boat
within a very short distance.
Yes.
I want to know what the definition of it is. And you can't pull your boat into the stadium.
No, you can't do that. That's ridiculous.
Well, you can get very close here. Tennessee for sure.
Yep. I'll tell you the other one if you want to know.
Okay. Was that part of your tour yesterday in your seaplane?
No, it's further south than here. Waco, Texas. Baylor.
Ooh.
Their new stadium is right on the
Brazos River.
Brazos River. It's right there.
Is that correct? Let's go to the graphic, which reveals the answer for the Aflac trivia question. Cameron Davis was the ball carrier. He's a true freshman, getting his first action here because of the injuries to Sean McGrew and Richard Newton.
Biggest thing you worry about with him is ball security. Take care of the football.
There he is again, number 22. There's a flag down behind the play as he turned the corner. Davis from Rancho Cucamonga,
Offense,
California.
Number 70, 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Jared Hilber's the right tackle. Had good initial contact, but as his man was trying to get to the perimeter, he grabbed and held, and that drew the flag. And the momentum that Washington had on this possession all of a sudden knocked back on 2nd down and long now.
They come back to the 27-yard line. Well, congratulations, you got the answer correct.
Thank you.
Neyland Stadium, Tennessee, McLean Stadium at Baylor. The answers to our Aflac trivia question.
Jacob Eason has to be very smart here. His team is playing very well. They're kind of right where they want to be in the game.
2nd and 13, quick slant, good catch in traffic by the freshman Puka Nacua. And for those who might be watching with the sound off, here's the answer graphically. Settling a few wagers, perhaps, in watering holes around the country and across the globe.
Timeout on the field.
Diamador Lenore, starting cornerback, the injured player. Diamador Lenore, the starting cornerback. Excellent player, junior from Los Angeles, heading to the locker room. So a true freshman, DJ James from Mobile, Alabama, has played in all 6 games prior to today. He's in there, and Troy Dye is out again. Again, they're looking at his right arm. And a redshirt freshman in for him, number 39, MJ Cunningham. So some young players on the field for this Oregon defense.
They believe in their depth. That's been a big key to their success so far.
Eason under duress. 2 receivers there. That couldn't have been the way it was drawn up. The true freshman Nacua and Andre Bocelli, the veteran 5th-year senior. So you'd be inclined to think maybe Nacua went to the wrong place.
Yeah, you don't want that, because when you have 2 guys close together, it also means there's a lot of white shirts that are going to be around the football too. Jacob Eason lucky that something worse didn't happen on that play.
Here's Javon Holland. With 4 punt returns this year of 20 yards or more. Joel Whitford's punt, and it's a fair catch by Holland. 38-yard punt tonight on ABC and the ESPN app. Number 16 Michigan, number 7 undefeated Penn State. 7:30 Eastern time. Whiteout tonight. Penn State, we saw them last week at Iowa. They are strong on both sides of the ball. We started the day with 12 undefeated teams in FBS football, but Wisconsin a stunning loss today at Illinois, so now there are 11. The teams trying to move up into that top 4 of the nitro of the college football playoffs. A good day with Wisconsin losing. C.J. Verdell, the ball carrier. Of course, Oregon trying to get back into that conversation. Trailing here 14-7, under 6 minutes to go in the first half.
No, I don't think we can reiterate again too many times the absence of Jacob Breland, their tight end. Justin Herbert started off so strong. They got their other tight ends involved, but things have been a little bit harder here, and he is missing his favorite target in Jacob Breland.
And they haven't been able to establish the running game. Here's Verdell trying to run left. He's down about a yard shy of the first down. We spoke with Jimmy Lake yesterday, Todd. He said you can't play a light box against Oregon. You have to load up on the run and make them beat you through the air, which seems strange when you have a great quarterback like Herbert, but that philosophy's worked so far today.
And when they need a run, they're going to run to the left.
They look to throw on third and a short two. Lots of time and an open man. Johnny Johnson, first down into Washington territory at the 44, a pickup of 23.
Excellent protection, first of all, and then a nice job by Johnson settling down against the zone defense and finding a hole for Herbert to find.
Herbert looking deep down the middle and off the hands of his intended receiver, Hunter Kampmoyer. One of those tight ends who's trying to fill the void in the absence of Jacob Breland. And he's not much of a pass catcher in his junior year, just 2 career catches.
Well, that would have been a tough one. That ball was a little bit too high that Herbert let go.
And Herbert's 69% for the year, but he's been inaccurate today after completing his first 6. He's now just 9 for 17. Fakes to Verdell. Quick slam. That's on target. First down, Oregon. Johnny Johnson the catch.
I think Oregon got away with the play there. I thought Shane Lemieux, the left guard, left early. I thought he kind of got out of his stance a little quick. It was an RPO throw, so they're going into run blocking, and Justin Herbert made the decision to throw.
Lemieux and Sewell, that left side of their line, as good as any in college football. I think we both believe it's the best. Verdell on first down, he runs for another first down with a pickup of 13.
Well, that's exactly right. Watch the left side. They also have Kampmoyer, the tight end there, but Lemieux and Sewell are just outstanding. Nice block by the wide receiver, Johnny Johnson, as well on that stretch play.
Both Lemieux and Sewell named this week first-team mid-season All-Americans by the Associated Press. Verdell chopped down by the freshman cornerback Trent McDuffie.
The one guy that has not had any balls thrown to him yet. Looks like he's coming out of the game right now. Juwan Johnson, the transfer for Penn State, is a big-bodied receiver. Again, they're missing Jacob Breland, but he's a big physical wide receiver. Might be a valuable guy to go to down here in the red zone.
And Johnson's had a tough time getting his season started. So grad transfer from Penn State. He's had a calf injury. Missed the first 4 games. Quick out wide. Jalen Red, a touchdown.
When they need a play, Jalen Red is the guy that gives it to him. And when they need a block, Penei Sewell is the guy that gives it to him as well. Watch Penei Sewell, number 58, get out in front of Jalen Red and get the key block right there. And another block by Addison, the receiver. And excellent running. Jalen Red runs like a running back when he catches it. He sets up blocks well. Excellent design and execution by the Ducks.
6 straight games with a touchdown reception. Tied with C.D. Lamb of Oklahoma, Sage Surratt of Wake Forest, for the longest such streak in the country. The extra point, a bit of an adventure, but good for Camden Lewis to tie it up. 50 drive, 69 yards in 8 plays. And we're tied at 14 late in the first half. Passes and 1 interception or fewer. And that is distinguished company Tua Tagovailoa and Justin Fields, who last night in their big win for the Buckeyes, 52-3 at Northwestern, threw 4 more touchdown passes without an interception. Camden Lewis, the kickoff. It'll be a touchback. Here's Cassidy Hubbarth.
Thanks, Sean. This Drive It Forward update brought to you by CarMax. Number 2 LSU with just 2-point lead and no touchdowns against Mississippi State until Joe Burrow finds a wide open Racing McMath for a 60-yard score. Tigers up 15-7 in the second. Sean, top back to you.
60 yards.
All right, Cassidy, thank you. LSU up to number 2 this week as we look at the rankings brought to you by AT&T. We'll see Alabama tonight on ESPN at home against Tennessee. Clemson an easy winner today at Louisville. Ohio State won last night. Oklahoma victorious against West Virginia. And the shocker, Wisconsin, a 30.5-point favorite, loses on a last-second field goal at Illinois. Perhaps looking ahead to their matchup with the Buckeyes.
Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Luke Wattenberg, the left guard, guilty of the movement.
Hey guys, just to give you an update, Aaron Fuller, the leading receiver with 40 receptions for this Washington team, does not look like he'll play today. He was nursing a left ankle at practice yesterday. He's finally taken off his helmet, and it does not look like he will return.
Yeah, I didn't see him do much in pregame warmups either. He was out there, he did a little bit, but not as much as you would have liked to see, and they're going with some younger guys. I mean, they're missing running backs, they're missing wide receivers, but so far they are holding their own. Very interesting and significant part of the game right here, though. You're tied 14-14. It's late in the first half. You're going to get the ball to start the third quarter. You just got to be smart with the football here.
The Huskies are not in any hurry with 2.5 minutes to go. The penalty got them behind the chains to start this possession. Leaning heavily on Ahmed, who's already carried 12 times. GWES over the middle. And a short gain on the completion to Terrell Bynum. Thomas Graham, a nice tackle. Veteran cornerback for Oregon. His 32nd career start. They're going to use one of their 2 remaining timeouts. Have faith in their defense.
Please reset the game clock to 2 minutes 9 seconds. 2:09.
Put the clock back to 2:09. I don't think we're surprised by what we're seeing.
No.
We talked about the similarities between these 2 teams, and they're evenly matched. The odds makers thought it was a field goal game, and that's probably the way it's going to end up, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be a 4-quarter game. I think turnovers will be a big part of the story before this one's over. But I think, again, I reiterate this point. For Washington right now, they've got to take care of the football. Jacob Eason can't try to force a play here on this 3rd down. If they punt, they got to play defense. They'll get the ball to start the 3rd quarter, but they're right where they want to be in the ball game. And Oregon, you know, they've won a couple tough games here where they've had to be gritty and win them on the road, and they've done that.
Dead even, 162 yards apiece. Slight edge in time of possession for Washington. And Todd, we came on here talking about these 2 strong-arm, tall NFL prospect quarterbacks. They're certainly both going to play in the NFL. Here's Eason's turn on 3rd down and 8. Given a nice pocket.
Nice throw.
And on target to Hunter Bryant. And he's ruled down with a catch. Verone McKinley wound up with it for Oregon. He says it should be Ducks ball, but the officials say the play was over, and it's a first down for the Huskies at the 42.
Beautiful job by Ahmed picking up the blitz, allowing his quarterback to make the throw.
Under 2 minutes to go in the half. Savon Ahmed, the catch at the 46, a gain of 4.
See, now Washington's going with some sense of urgency after that 3rd down conversion. Now they're thinking, can we get a score right before halftime?
Ahmed weaving through the defense, and now Oregon may regret that timeout called on defense. Verone McKinley made the tackle, but they're inside the 40 of Oregon. Their field goal kicker, Peyton Henry, hasn't missed a kick all year. All 3 timeouts left for the Huskies.
Oregon takes another
Oregon.
timeout.
The final timeout of the half.
You joined us late. Here's the situation in the Pac-12. Oregon in command in the north. We said at the top of the telecast, our ESPN FPI people tell us that if Oregon wins today, they have better than a 99% chance of winning the north. Big game in the south today, Arizona State and Utah. What a job our pal Herm Edwards. Everybody who ever met him at ESPN or in any place Herm's been, cheers for him.
Absolutely.
To do well. Such a wonderful human being and doing a fantastic job. But if Washington wants to try to poke back into this Pac-12 situation, they have to win today.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they've already lost 2 in the league. And yeah, this is a must-win situation for them.
I'm starting to make the point about these 2 quarterbacks. I mean, wait a minute. You guys comparing the Tua and Jake Fromm and some of these, Trevor Lawrence. I would say, in fairness to Herbert and Eason, neither one of them is working with a particularly strong wide receiver group. If you looked at the weakest groups on these 2 teams, it might be the wide receiver group.
I think you're right.
On either side of the ball. Eason over the middle. Terrell Bynum's had an active day. In the absence of Fuller, he's getting more opportunities. He got driven back. They'll give him the 32-yard line.
Timeout, Washington, their first of the half. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute 13 seconds. 1-1-3. Thank you.
It'll be 2nd and 3 after the timeout. The final minute 13 of the half, and then the Capital One halftime report with Kevin Nagandi, Jonathan Vilma, and Mark Sanchez.
You know, Sean, back to your point about the quarterbacks, I agree with you. And not only, I think both of these guys have a lot of upside. I think that their ceiling is pretty far up there when they get to the next level. I think partly because of the supporting cast, partly because playing in more pro-style offenses and how they'll be coached and what they'll be taught at the next level. I think both these guys, Jacob Eason and Justin Herbert, have a lot of room to grow as a quarterback at the next level.
And there will be pro people, because they are similar, who are comparing these 2. And it was interesting talking to Todd McShay during the week. He said he was eager to see them on the same field. Obviously, they're not playing against each other. But how will they meet the challenge of a big game, of playing against one of the other top quarterbacks, of playing against an outstanding defense? It's a chance to demonstrate they're the better quarterback. Back shoulder throw, and an excellent catch by Hunter Bryant, the athletic tight end out of Issaquah, Washington. Good for 27, 1st and goal.
And he's working against the best player on that defense. Javon Holland was in man coverage, but it was a perfect throw.
Out wide. Bocelli stays on his feet. And Andre Bocelli has a Washington touchdown and a Husky lead with under a minute to go in the half.
Excellent job of using tempo, Sean, to hurry up and snap that ball. Oregon was not settled on defense, and the tempo got him the touchdown.
So Oregon had given up 25 points combined in the previous 5 games coming in. The extra points made by Peyton Henry, they will have given up 21 in the half. And it is good. Eason has completed 12 of his last 13. The last one for 5 yards and a touchdown to Bocelli, who's been quiet the last couple of weeks, had only 1 catch in their last 2 games against Stanford and Arizona. 1 catch combined.
Jacob Eason, a perfect throw against excellent coverage. The best defender. Put it in a place that only your guy can make the catch. And now watch this. They hurry up. Oregon is not settled. They don't have enough guys on the bottom of the formation. They hit the quick screen. 1 broken tackle. And Bocelli gets it in the end zone. Jacob Eason proved his mettle on that drive. 6 for 6 and a couple perfect throws to get him into the end zone. Aggressive pylon cam right there. Bocelli does a great job keeping his balance and getting that ball in the end zone.
And that Oregon defense, which had been remarkable over the previous 5 games, on its heels right now in this first half.
How about on the same day that Wisconsin's defense, which has been unbelievable, gives up 24 and loses, the Oregon defense giving up points in this one.
Travis Dye can try to return it from a yard deep off the Tim Horn kickoff. He's out to the 21-yard line, tackled at the 21. Edifon Ulo-Foshia made the tackle.
Foshia for sure. On that one,
Foshio. There's a lot of difficult names to pronounce on these 2 teams. While you guys were off on your seaplane yesterday, I was practicing, but practice is not made perfect for your humble servant here today. Let's see how Oregon plays it. With no timeouts left, Herbert way too high along the near sideline for Brian Addison. Trent McDuffie, the freshman, in coverage.
You try to see if he can get one first down. You know, if Justin Herbert, even though he doesn't have any timeouts, he's a veteran guy. Mario Cristobal trusts him. If you can get a first down, then maybe you can try to accelerate things again. But that first down is critical.
As you mentioned, he's avoided interceptions, thrown only one all year, was against Cal. Look out! He gets hit as he throws, and it's still on target. Johnny Johnson makes the catch, and they're out to midfield. Miles Bryant came on the blitz and delivered the hit, but Herbert still got it there for a 29-yard gain. Herbert, plenty of time. Checks it down.
Good tackle, keeps him in bounds.
That's huge.
Spike the ball here.
Brandon Wellington, the tackle. Cyrus Habibi Likio could not get out of bounds. 20 seconds to go in the half. No timeouts for Oregon. Herbert dumps it off for Habibi Likio. He gets the first down to stop the clock, to move the chains. They'll get up and spike it here, you would think.
Yeah, have to.
And they do. And now what will Coach Cristobal do? They don't kick many field goals. Camden Lewis's long this season, and it's his freshman season, is just 32 yards. They're going to try to get at least a little bit closer and take a shot at the end zone here. Lewis 2 out of 5. He missed a couple of short ones early in the year. Mario said he hasn't lost confidence in the freshman from Charlotte. Pressure. Herbert flushed, running out of time in the half. Throws toward the back of the end zone, incomplete, and it ends the half. Micah Pittman, the target. And this homecoming crowd on its feet, saluting the Washington Huskies, their best half of football of the season.
Because he had to leave the pocket, he eliminated the ability to have 2 plays. He would have had 2 plays if he throws it quick. The scramble made him only have 1.
That's
Here's
the
Holly.
end of the second quarter.
Hey, Coach. Your quarterback, Jacob Eason, is a hometown kid, hasn't played in this rivalry game before. What's impressed you with his poise and accuracy?
Yeah, he's doing a nice job. I think he's throwing pretty accurate. He's seeing some things underneath, getting deep. Starts with the O-line. I think they're giving him some time to throw.
You've done a nice job absorbing some of your playmakers being out. Sean McGrew, Newton, and Aaron Fuller hasn't played yet. How have you been able to do that?
He's the next man up. It's that time of the season. Guy's been training for a long time, and so the next guys are ready to play.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay. Thank you all.
In particular, Ahmed rushed for 77 yards, and Bynum had 4 catches in the half. He had 3 all year coming into today. Now let's send you to the studio for the Capital One halftime report after this message and a word from our Samsung QLED TV. Each team had the lead in the first half, and as we get ready for the third quarter, it's Washington 21 and Oregon 14. Welcome back to Seattle. Sean McDonough, Todd Blackledge. Partner, what jumps out at you about that first half?
I think we saw both teams play very well on both sides of the ball. Neither team ran the ball very well. Both quarterbacks showed flashes of being really good. Neither team has made a critical mistake yet, and I think that's going to be the difference in the ball game in the second half. No turnovers so far in the ball game. Both quarterbacks have avoided that critical mistake.
And it'll be Washington ball to begin the second half. Camden Lewis kicks off. It's returnable for Chico McClatcher from the 3. And he's down at the 28-yard line. Here's the look at today's Pacific Life game summary.
Justin Herbert, we talked about both quarterbacks showed flashes. One of his backup tight ends, Spencer Webb, with the first touchdown of the game. Jacob Eason with a beautiful throw, read the free safety, led his receiver, Chin, who has not played very much this year. So we've seen different guys have to step up in roles for both of these teams, and that's why we got such a good ball game. This is going to be a fourth quarter game, no doubt.
Jacob Eason, very efficient, 15 out of 19 for 168 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half. Dumps it over the middle. Terrell Bynum One of those who has stepped in the absence of others. He has another first down. A moment ago, Holly with Mario Cristobal.
Hey, Coach, you've had a couple of losses to defensive players. What is the status of Troy Dye and Diamador Lenore in the back?
Troy's good to go. Diamador, they're still assessing inside.
Okay. What do you have to do to get your running game going? It's been hard to go up front.
Well, you know what? Early we did it well. Then that last drive we scored, we got it going again. We got to continue just staying on double teams, making sure we're getting movement at the line of scrimmage.
All right, and Justin was really accurate to start. He struggled a little bit in the middle part. What's going on with Justin?
In the middle we did. We were off a little bit. They played some man coverage. We protected very well sometimes not. We got to get in sync. We got to get in rhythm.
Thank you, Coach.
Meanwhile, without two of their leading rushers, Sean McGrew and Richard Newton, they've handed the ball regularly to Savon Ahmed, and he has performed. 96 yards rushing now after a 20-yard gain to the Oregon 41. They stick with him. Another big hole. Washington trying to say we have the best offensive line on the field today.
I'll tell you what, the center and the right guard are mauling people on this possession so far. Watch Harris and Kirkland. 2 plays in a row, run plays. They are just really opening things up on the inside, being very physical with this Oregon defensive front.
Not as experienced as the Oregon line, but they're not far behind. Center Harris, first team all Pac-12 a year ago. Run after the catch. Puka Nacua, touchdown.
Because of the run, this linebacker is going to be held by the run fake. It leaves a little window open, and then a bad angle to the ball by the freshman, DJ James. Again, Lenore out of the ball game. Coach Cristobal just told Holly they picked on him on that play, and the result was a touchdown.
Puka Nacua, an emerging force for Washington in recent weeks. He had 3 catches for 97 in Arizona. Last week he has a touchdown, his second of the season.
Man, they made this drive look easy, Sean. They ran, they threw, and they marched right down the field to take a 2-touchdown lead.
By TrackPhone from sold-out Husky Stadium in Seattle on the shores of Lake Washington. Rainy and raw morning. Rained into the start of the game, but the rain has stopped. Skies are brightened a bit. Temperature now in the low 50s as Tim Horn kicks off. Returnable again, Travis Dye. And he's down at the 21-yard line.
About to take a look at Justin Herbert to start the third quarter. 14 of 24 in the first quarter. We saw flashes of him being really good, making some really difficult throws. This back shoulder throw he makes to Schooler here was perfect, away from the defense. This was the tight end after the play fake. Holds the linebackers. One of his backup tight ends, Spencer Webb, in the game, hits that little window for the touchdown. But now's the time, Sean, when this guy has to kind of put his team on his back and say, hey, we got to find a way to win this thing on the road.
The Huskies crowd the line. It's Travis Dye finding a hole. Stood up after a gain of 7. Brandon Wellington, inside linebacker, senior from Kent, Washington, made the tackle.
And they need to run with some success. They're going to go left. They're going to go behind Shane Lemieux and the left tackle, Penei Sewell. That's their bread and butter to run the football.
Lemieux making his 45th straight start at left guard. Quick pop pass, caught. Spencer Webb fighting for every inch, getting some help from his buddies. Trent McDuffie and Asa Turner, a couple of true freshmen there for the Washington defense. It's a first down for Oregon at the Ducks 47.
When Kyler Manu, the senior linebacker for Washington, really bit hard on the run fake. He vacated that area. He's coming out of the game right now. He really bit on that fake and opened things up easily for Spencer Webb.
He scored the first touchdown of this game in the first quarter. Oregon led 7-0. They have not led since. Travis Dye die. Close to another first down into Washington territory at the 44.
They got two double teams on
95
that
of the
block.
defense's helmet came off through play. He may not participate in the next down. Please reset the play clock to 40 seconds. Play clock to 40 seconds. Thank you.
Mario Cristobal told Holly, we got to stay on some double team blocks longer. That play, two double teams, they stayed on it. Nice solid gain on first down run.
Cristobal, former offensive lineman at Miami, longtime line coach. Brought a physical style of play to Oregon. They're playing power football in this opening possession of the second half. It's Travis Dye, the younger brother of the linebacker Troy Dye, for a first down.
Exact same play. Double team by the guard, the right guard, the center. Double team on the other side.
Dye again. Yanked back after he crossed the line of scrimmage near the 36-yard line. Latu made the tackle, and the true freshman from Sacramento goes off the field and then comes back in. Both of these defenses play a lot of people. Latu, a talented rugby player in high school, a Jesuit in Sacramento. Brendan Schooler, the motion man for Oregon, out of the pistol again. Habibi Likio chopped down by Elijah Molden, the junior from West Lynn, Oregon, whose dad, Alex, was a star player at Oregon and was one of Elijah's high school coaches. Alex was a first-round draft pick. He's in the Oregon Hall of Fame, 8 years in the NFL, drafted number 11 overall by New Orleans in '96.
Let's see if Oregon can find a way to get the ball to Micah Pittman right here, number 4. He's been very quiet, very talented receiver.
On 3rd and 10. Caught! First down. Micah Pittman. Another son of a standout player. His dad, Michael, played 11 years in the NFL as a running back.
Good job against man-to-man coverage. He was working on number 22 there, got separation from the freshman, Trent McDuffie, and Herbert found him with the football.
Crisp drive, reminiscent of their opening drive of the game when they marched right down the field and scored. Cyrus Habibi Likio tripped up by Brandon Wellington.
See, the way they've run the football in this drive, similar to their open drive, now all their play action passes are going to be good because you have to respect the run fake and the success they've had running the football.
Ninth play of the drive. They've thrown only 2 passes. They feel like they can wear teams down with that offensive line in the second half. Habibi Likio carries again, and the sophomore from Palo Alto, California, has another Oregon first down at the Husky 14.
Really nice job by the center, Jake Hansen, getting to the second-level linebacker there.
They're in rhythm now. Habibi Likio, great balance, stayed on his feet after leaping to avoid a tackler, went over Miles Bryant and into the end zone for an Oregon touchdown.
Well, this is just good work by a veteran offensive line. Watch the center and the left guard. That's Hansen and Lemieux. They get 2 blocks on the inside. They open up a nice crease for Habibi Likio. And Washington made it look easy on their possession. Oregon just did the same thing.
They give it to Habibi Likio when they get close to the goal line. That is his 6th rushing touchdown of the season. Camden Lewis, the extra point. And it's shaping up as another classic in this rivalry, which dates back to 1900, 112th all-time meeting between Washington and Oregon. They are not going to abandon the run.
No.
At Oregon with Coach Cristobal as the head coach, Marcus Arroyo, the offensive coordinator, Jim Mastro, the running back coach. He was at Nevada with Chris Alton. Together they invented the pistol offense.
Free kick out of bounds, kicking team.
Not a touchback. It came up short
to the 35-yard line, first down.
Kickoff out of bounds by Camden Lewis. And excellent field position to start for Washington from its own 35-yard line.
Washington scored pretty easily to start the second half. The Oregon defense came over the sideline. Dante Williams, the secondary coach, called every defender together, and he was lighting them up. The message is that they are not taking care of their own assignments. Guys are gambling, getting out of their lanes. He wants people paying attention to their assignments. He kept pointing to his head over and over. You got to be smarter. We got to think. They've got to play better and more assignment-sound football here to stop this Washington offense.
Yeah, they just haven't had problems like this all season. You know, after that Auburn game, they have just shut everybody down.
The most points they've allowed all season in a game. Eason on target. And a nice catch by Cade Otton, one of their tight ends. He's at the Oregon 45 with a first down.
You are seeing a quarterback in Jacob Eason today that not only is seeing the field, but he's extremely confident. That was a small window between two Oregon defenders, and he did not hesitate to put that football up for Otton.
He had not been terrific in conference play entering today, 57% against Cal, USC, Stanford, and Arizona. Against the defense that's been the best in the conference and one of the best in the country. He's been tremendous today. So has Ahmed, bounced out of bounds, but with 9 more to the 36-yard line of Oregon.
This is their best player, Troy Dye, taking a bad angle to the football. You just don't see that. This is his 40th consecutive start. He's led the team in tackles the last 3 years, and he got himself out of position on that play and gave up the edge to the defense. That goes back to what Holly was talking about, just doing their assignment and paying attention to their rules.
Ahmed finding lots of running room now. Brady Breeze made the tackle. He's a backup defensive back, but it's a first down for Washington at the 27. And Ahmed is up to 123 yards rushing on 17 carries.
Had a career high 153 against USC in a win a couple weeks ago. He could pass that up today the way he's going.
And with 153, got a lot of help from an 89-yard touchdown run against the Trojans. He has breakaway speed. He gets a rest here, and they give it to Kamari Pleasant. Tackled by Jordan Scott at the 20. It's 7 more. First down, and now it looks like both teams just want to take turns running it right at each other.
I'm having fun watching this center, Nick Harris. I mean, he is a physical guy at the point of attack. They missed him last week, and he is leading the way in the run game today for Washington.
Preseason second-team AP All-American Harris at center. Pleasant dragged down at the line of scrimmage. So here comes a big third down. Mace Funa leading the way for the Oregon defense.
Beautiful play by Funa. He just took Cade Otton, the tight end, stood him straight up and held his ground and let go of the block and made the tackle to set up this third down play. We have two tight ends that have both caught the ball well today in Otton and Bryant.
Wildcat, Kamari Pleasant. He fakes the jet sweep, spins down. I thought from here he's a little bit short, that he bounced to the yellow line, and I believe that's the way they're going to spot it. Actually, they're moving quite a bit back, and that's not a good spot.
No, I thought he was closer than that.
He seemed to be a lot closer than that. I don't think he got it, but they have him about a full yard shy.
And we've seen 2 fourth-down efforts by Washington. One was a quarterback sneak on 4th and very short, and then we saw the speed option on the goal line.
I'm not sure about this decision. You have whoa, it's a good decision now. They drew him offside. I was going to say, Todd, you have a chance to have a 2-score lead. You have a field goal kicker who hasn't missed a kick all year. You're in field goal range. It would be kind of
Offside.
the stretch of his range.
Defense, contact in the neutral zone.
This is
5-yard penalty, results in a first down.
This is Jacob Eason using voice inflection. You're not going to be able to hear on this, but you'll see that head bob just a little bit. He changed the inflection of his voice on a hard count and drew the offsides, and I think that's exactly what Chris Peterson wanted out of that 4th down play.
The toss to Ahmed. And he's wrapped up. Nice play by Verone McKinley. You saw the graphic. Washington 2 for 2 with touchdowns in the red zone. Oregon had allowed only 2 touchdowns in the red zone all year in 14 trips by their opponents. That's the best percentage in the country entering today, but today's been a lot different than what we've seen previously for the Oregon defense. Fake to Bocelli, and the throw incomplete. Thrown behind Hunter Bryant, who didn't seem to be expecting the ball.
There was quick pressure. That's why he wasn't expecting the ball. Now watch Ahmed, who's run the ball really well, but he gets run over on this pickup of the blitz. And that quick pressure is what forced Easton to get rid of the football. Now he had Bocelli open on the sideline, but he just is trying to get rid of the football to avoid the sack on second down.
3rd down, 12. They're in comfortable field goal range now for the left footer Henry. Be about a 32-yard field goal from here. Oregon showing blitz. A couple of their defenders flinching forward, and now Easton's going to call a timeout.
Washington, their first of the half.
With the play clock about to expire. Entertaining game. Skies brightening along the shores of Lake Washington. And the Huskies trying to make it a happy homecoming for their sellout crowd here. 70,000 on hand at the Alaska Airlines Field at Husky Stadium.
Normally this would be a time, if you're thinking touchdown here, this would be where Aaron Fuller would be your focus guy. He's not been in the game, not able to play. Who is that guy in this situation if you're Jacob Eason?
Out of the gun, they throw it out wide. Chico McClatcher stood up. Troy Dye in the pile. The ball came out, heard some whistles, and they are blowing it dead.
On the field as the runner was down prior to the fumble. 4th down.
And now McClatcher slow to get up.
Yeah, he kind of got bent backwards at the end of that play in an awkward way.
5th-year senior from right down the road here.
Injured player of the offense.
Federal Way, Washington.
Pretty safe play here on
Please
3rd
reset
down
the game
and
clock
12.
to 4 minutes, 10 seconds.
Here's the end of the play.
Thank you.
Was he down or was forward progress called before the ball came out? The ball came out pretty late. But he was bent back in a very awkward way on that play.
So they're tending to McClatcher. From an athletic family, his mom, Kim Warner, ran track here at the University of Washington. She's still in the top 10 all time here at the long jump and 60-meter hurdles. Great facilities here, the basketball arena next door. Holly took us over the softball stadium, which is right next door. And exciting times athletically on this campus. Mike Hopkins has done a tremendous job with the men's basketball team. They have some top recruits on campus this weekend. We're excited about the athletics program here and in Oregon as well. So McClatcher walks off. He's reemerged today. He had only 1 catch in their previous 4 games. So here's Peyton Henry, who's 14 for 14 this season, 15 in a row overall, and 20 for his last 22.
The fumble is under review.
Well, why weren't they reviewing it the entire time that McClatcher was on the ground? We're starting to say, Tom, we were there last year.
Yeah.
It was a tie game at 24. The end of regulation, they sent Henry out there, did Chris Peterson to try what would have been a game-winning field goal. No time left, and he missed from 37 yards. But then he made one in overtime to give them the lead. And since that miss in that game last year, he's made 20 out of 22. So good for him for putting it behind him. They're trying to ascertain if this was a fumble. Jack Wood is the replay official. Now you think he would have had all that time that McClatcher was down to review this. If you had that much time and you can't see anything to overturn the call, if you had that much time, it can't be conclusive, can it?
Wouldn't think so.
Let's bring in Bill LeMonnier. Bill, do you see anything there to make you think that's a fumble?
Well, he's bent over on bodies, and he gets hit by the second player. If the ball came out, he's not quite down on the ground, but he's already been forward progress stopped by the first hit. We can't see when the ball comes out, but because it's the second hit, his forward progress is stopped. They've got to let this play stand.
I mean, I understand, and you see this a lot of times. The player gets in a dangerous position like this. He lets go of the football.
The ruling on the field stands. 4th down.
I think that's the right call. You know, he let go of the football because he was in obvious pain in the way that his body was being twisted.
So here's Peyton Henry. We mentioned that he's perfect for the year. There were 9 kickers to start the weekend in FBS who had made all of their field goal attempts, and of those 9, he had attempted the most without a miss, 14 out of 14, but only one of them longer than 38 yards, and a flag down.
False start. Offense, number 90. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Yeah, he was drawn into that movement. There was a late shift by Oregon right before the ball was snapped. And that caused a movement up front for the Huskies.
By Josiah Bronson. That's going to back Henry up. Redshirt sophomore from Danville, California. Be a 30-yard field goal attempt now. And it is good. And it's a 2-score lead again for Washington. 31-21 with 3:39 to go in the 3rd quarter. Boomer rejoined this week by TJ. Tom Jackson back on NFL Primetime this Sunday at 7:30 Eastern. Again, that's only available on ESPN+. As usual, they'll have all the highlights, breakdowns from the games of the day, updates after the Sunday and Monday night games. Scott Van Pelt and Joe Tessitore also part of the fun. To get ESPN+, download the app and go to ESPNplus.com. Now, you like that mascot. You were very critical of the tree when we gave the list of the top 10 mascots according to Sports Illustrated, but you like the Husky.
Well, I like all live mascots. I mean, I like the Husky. I like Ralphie the Buffalo. You know, I like live mascots. Ugga, right?
There's a live person inside that tree, Todd, working hard to be the tree.
I'm not buying it. I'm not a tree fan. That Husky dog would pee on a tree.
Tim Horn, such back in all the years that I've worked with you, we go back 20 years. So that's the edgiest thing I've ever heard you say. So here come the Ducks with work to do. Herbert 17 out of 27 for 191 and 2 touchdowns without an interception. He's now gone 91 consecutive passes without a pick.
And they really flexed their muscles running the football in that last possession. I mean, other than the opening drive of the game, that was their best offensive possession when they had it last time. See if they go back to run into that left side.
They fake a run to the left. Herbert all kinds of time and too high. The receiver's open. Micah Pittman right on the sideline, and Herbert airmailed him, Holly.
Well, guys, keep in mind there are 9 new starters on this Washington defense, and on that last drive they allowed Oregon to score. There was miscommunication several different times during that drive. They're trying to get back on the same page. They've been talking here on the sidelines that they have got to communicate better to know what they're in, what their call is.
Cyrus Habibi Likio chopped down by Brandon Wellington. 3rd down here. 3rd and a long 6.
Washington showing man coverage with one very deep safety. That's their leader, Miles Bryant, about 20 yards deep.
They twist up front. They don't get close to Herbert. The pass and run come up a yard short. Jalen Redd, nice tackle by Elijah Molden. And right now, Oregon leaving the offense on the field down by 10, looking like they might go for it on 4th down and 1 from their own 34.
Well, this is risky here. I know they can run. I know they love their offensive line. But you're on your own 34-yard line right here.
And Jimmy Lake, the defensive coordinator for Washington, said when they need a play on short yardage, they run to the left. Licchio runs to the left for a first down. Trent McDuffie chopped him down at the 41.
Yeah, Panay Sol just caved in that side of the defense. Licchio just cut right off of Sewell's block, got the first down easily, and keep the football. This is a team that's trying to assert their will now with that offensive line.
Under 2 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Play action pass. Lots of time for Herbert. Trying to launch one, and he does. One-on-one coverage, and incomplete. Intended for Jawan Johnson with Trent McDuffie in coverage.
This was tremendous downfield coverage. It was a max protection play action pass. So there were only 3 receivers out, and they were all covered. And Justin Herbert just kept trying to buy time to see if he could get somebody to separate. But McDuffie never lost his coverage on Jawan Johnson.
When they get the ground game going, they set up those deep strikes with the play action pass. Back to the pistol on 2nd and 10. Licchio, huge hole. First down, leaps a defender and goes down at the Washington 42. He jumped over Asa Turner and was tackled by Miles Bryant.
Great block by the left guard, Shane Lemieux. That stretch play, the back can cut that into any crease, and he saw a big crease on the backside thanks to the block by Lemieux. Cut it back in for a nice game.
Well, Licchio, primarily a short yardage back in the past, getting a lot of the carries here in the 3rd quarter. He got stacked up there for very little. Josiah Bronson made the tackle, and we're under a minute to go in the 3rd quarter by the time they snap it next.
Oregon had 46 yards rushing in the first half. They're up to 122 now. And they're doing it mostly with Licchio, their bigger, more physical back.
Travis Dye in there now. Smaller, but more of a home run hitter. They fake it to him, and it's incomplete. Tough to tell who was intended for. It was in the direction of both Micah Pittman and Spencer Webb and hit the ground in between the two of them.
I think it was intended for Webb, quite honestly, but just an errant throw by Justin Herbert. It was good coverage, but a high throw nonetheless.
Third down and 10. They're not in field goal range. Trailing by 10 in the final minute of the 3rd quarter. They don't really rush him at all. Travis Dye knocked out of bounds by Trent McDuffie.
Now, this is a tough decision for Mario here. He already went for a 4th down in his own territory. This is out of field goal range for his comfort level. He's got to go for it here again on 4th down. The other thing you have to be aware of here is that Justin Herbert is good enough to run with the football to keep that defense honest.
Huskies lined up as if they're going to attack. Micah Pittman, first down. On his way to the end zone. Touchdown, Oregon. On 4th and 3, the quick pass goes for 36.
Well, Trent McDuffie, the freshman cornerback, got completely fooled. McDuffie's going to keep going across the formation. He doesn't go back out with Pittman. It was a beautifully designed play and call by Marcus Arroyo. They scored a touchdown.
Offense, number 80. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. The result of the play is a touchdown.
They scored a touchdown against Cal a couple weeks ago down by the goal line on a very similar play. Bring that wide receiver in motion, bring him back out, get a lineman out in front, and the coverage did not go back outside with him.
First career touchdown for the freshman Micah Pittman. Highly recruited player, part of their best recruiting class in school history. Camden Lewis, the extra point. It's a 3-point game again, and we've reached the end of the third quarter. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC. We'll return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. And here's why. After they score, he goes over, leaps like he wants the pom-pom, and then you see the officials see that and throw the flag. Let's bring in Bill Lamagnier. Bill, that's a penalty?
By rule, it's a foul if you do that type of interaction with a fan. I might have been guilty as an official of saying I didn't see it. But there were other things I didn't see too, Sean.
Savon Ahmed's kickoff return gives Washington good field position as a result at the 37. What do you have, Cassidy Hubbard?
Well, Sean, let's take a look at one of AT&T's best performances, and Joe Burrow has been at his best all season. With this touchdown, his 29th passing touchdown this season, he now has LSU's single-season school record for passing TDs, and they're not even through 7 games yet, guys.
Unbelievable.
Would he be your Heisman pick if you voted today?
I mean, him and Tua, I mean, they're both just going stride for stride with each other. It's unbelievable.
Justin Fields.
And Jalen Hurts. I mean, take your pick.
Here's Savon Ahmed ahead for 2. So it's interesting talking again to Todd McShay during the week in anticipation of our game here, where 2 of the best quarterbacks in the country wanted his feeling. And here's the way he has them lined up. Jake Fromm would be 5th. He said Joe Burrow at the start of the year might have been a day 3 draft pick at best. Now he's playing his way perhaps into the first round of next year's draft.
You might want to share some of that signing bonus with Joe Brady after he signs.
Ahmed yanked down by the Oregon defense, led by Mikhail Wright, another true freshman, part of that magnificent recruiting class. He's out of Antelope Valley, California.
Well, again, I've said it a couple times. Another one of those situations for Jacob Eason, who has played brilliantly today. This is his best game that he's played all season. But you got to make a good decision here if you don't have what you like down the field.
20 for 25 for 241 and 3 touchdowns. No interceptions. Neither team has turned it over. Given time, a bullet incomplete. Intended for Bocelli. Well, that one is hard to catch.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to try to catch that. A couple of their players have said he throws a catchable ball, but it does come at you very quickly.
It's on you quick, right? Well, they've done a good job so far of punting the football away from Javon Holland and not allowing that part of the Oregon game to hurt them.
New punter, it's Race Porter. Line drive kick, and it spins directly right out of bounds. Inside the 30-yard line, 35-yard punt by Porter, who had punted only once this year in their opening win against Eastern Washington. Let's take a look at today's All-State playoff predictor. Chance to make the college football playoff, and according to our predictor, Ohio State has the best chance, followed by Clemson. I heard them saying on the Clemson telecast today, Bob Wischusen and Dan Orlovsky, that Clemson is likely to be a 3-touchdown favorite or better in all of their remaining games this season.
That's probably accurate.
Alabama right there as well. Oregon in desperate need of a win. With a loss, their chances go to under 1%. Cyrus Habibi-Likio, the ball carrier.
A lot of time left in this football game. No reason for either team to get out of their comfort zone, what they've been doing well. Punting the football, not a bad deal. You're playing field position, and you're playing take care of the football and see if you can find an opening to take the lead.
They had 2 touchdown drives to the Ducks in the third quarter, leaning heavily on the run in this short passing game. Brian Addison, the catch. Tackled immediately. Kyler Manu there for Washington. Seems like an endless string now of key 3rd and 4th down plays.
Well, Micah Pittman has been the go-to guy on some of these situations. He's in the middle of this 3-receiver formation down at the bottom.
They spread the field with 5 wide receivers, 2 into the boundary. Herbert gets it off, and it is caught. Diving catch made at the 43-yard line by Brian Addison, who had 9 catches all year, and he's had 2 on this possession for Oregon.
Beautiful job by Herbert, eluding the pressure of Josiah Bronson. Bronson whipped the left guard, Shane Lemieux, and was right in on Herbert, and he had to elude him before he could make the throw.
So Addison trying to atone for the failed pom-pom snatch penalty. Cyrus Habibi-Likio tackled by Levi Onzarike, junior from Allen, Texas, in the middle of that talented Washington defensive front.
Yeah, we've had an intentional disguise to deceive penalty and try to steal the pom-pom penalty. Pretty fun.
2nd and 7. Now, we were asking both coaching staffs about the pistol. You know, the pistol was invented by Chris Alt and Jim Mastro at Nevada, in large part to take advantage of Colin Kaepernick's running skills. Now, you wouldn't think that would translate over to Justin Herbert, but they really stick with it for other reasons just beyond quarterback runs.
Well, there's other iterations of the offense. The biggest thing, you put him right behind the quarterback. You don't tip your hand which way you're going to run, left or right. You can run strong or weak and not show the defense.
It can be a downhill running attack, as we've seen. Another key 3rd down, a long throw. And the receiver, Brendan Schooler, never turned for the ball. He was flying away, and the ball was fluttering behind him.
Excellent coverage downfield by Washington. It was man free. And Justin Herbert had to hold this ball as long as he could, and then still takes a hit. That could have possibly been a late hit on Josiah Bronson, but excellent coverage down the field. 4 receivers in the route, nobody open, and a middle safety there to help just in case.
Blake Maimone, the punter, he has completed a pass in his career. A fake field goal as the holder. That was against UCLA. No fake here. Plenty of time left, more than 10.5 minutes. And he doesn't get a good bounce that goes into the end zone. But Aaron Fuller back there probably just to try to catch it. He's played very little. Wide receiver. Timeout, 10.5 to go. You're watching college football presented by TrackPhone. And a sellout crowd here at Husky Stadium, 70,867 the attendance. Homecoming weekend here in Seattle. Very entertaining game. Each team has had the lead. The largest lead was a 10-point advantage for Washington at 31-21. In the third quarter, they lead by 3 as they take the ball back with 10.5 to go. Savon Ahmed weaves ahead for 8.
Boy, Ahmed has really played well in this ball game, and they knew they were going to have to lean on him a little bit more with the absence of McGrew, the absence of Newton, and he has responded. 20 carries now, averaging over 6.5 yards per carry. He's been very patient, and he has hit the holes with some force.
Ahmed from just across the lake in Kirkland, Washington. They stick with him, and he didn't get there. Mace Puna, the freshman, with the tackle. Here's a closer look at Savon Ahmed. He's a rapper with his buddy Isaiah Brown. Has tattoos of Tupac and Nipsey Hussle. Tupac, who some think is still alive.
You were just thinking about your ab workout there, weren't you? Yeah, your two-pack. I got you.
Kamari Pleasant in the Wildcat. He keeps it and goes nowhere. Dropped for a loss. Javon Holland leading the way.
Yeah, Javon Holland made a great play. He was not fooled by the jet sweep. He anticipated the quarterback keeping this on 3rd and short. Here he is. He's got the edge of the defense. And once he sees this is not going to be a handoff, he closes quickly on Kamari Pleasant behind the line of scrimmage. That's a heads-up play by one of your leaders on defense.
So they're back to Joel Whitford. The last punt was by Race Porter.
Both teams playing field position right now.
Wobbly line drive kick and a fair catch made by Javon Holland. 45-yard punt. Oregon will start at its 30, down by 3. Sean McDonough, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe. Husky Stadium is alive. Oregon ball down by 3. 8.5 minutes to go here in Seattle. Justin Herbert, quick strike after the play fake. And Johnny Johnson is out to midfield. Tackled by Keith Taylor. Saved a touchdown. That's a 20-yard play.
That's the RPO off of that favorite run out of the pistol formation. It's a long ride by the quarterback Herbert. Linebackers bite in, and he throws the slant behind him for a big play. Same run action.
Yeah, we talked to Jimmy Lake yesterday about Oregon's use of the pistol. He talked about that play in particular. He said you don't see that much from pistol teams. The runs usually go wide. Right. He said, we call that one Vegas. It was invented in Nevada, Reno, so we use a lot of Nevada-related terms for their run action out of the pistol. That straight-ahead play is called Vegas. And they're hitting a jackpot on this one. Travis Dye down to the 27-yard line. 22 more for Oregon, quickly on the move.
Well, you got a double team by the right tackle and the right guard. The center's getting a block. Left side's getting a block. And these running backs are just kind of picking their way on the inside. They're being very patient till creases open up.
Cyrus Habibi-Likio lowers his head, runs over Miles Bryant for a 9-yard gain.
Now, we haven't seen it yet, and we may not have to see it because they're having success running it. But what this is going to open up to is for Justin Herbert to keep it one time with this defense selling out for that inside run.
He's a good runner. Habibi-Likio breaks tackles. And I think, Todd, we're seeing the effect of Mario Cristobal, Marcus Will sticking with the run, leaning on this big and powerful offensive line. It looks like they are wearing down this Washington defense, which is a big part of their approach.
Yeah. You know, there aren't too many head football coaches in the Power 5 that were offensive linemen or offensive line coaches. You got Cristobal, you got Matt Luke at Ole Miss, you got Les Miles at Kansas. I'm not sure who else there was be.
Pistol again, Vegas again. Habibi-Likio stacked up at the 10-yard line, a gain of 3.
It's as much a part of the culture that Mario Cristobal wants to have permeate his whole program, not just their ability to run the football. He wants this kind of toughness to be able to take this on the road and win a game like this in this kind of an environment by being the more physical team. That's what he wants his whole program to be about.
Jalen Redd, the motion man. Long count by Herbert. Still plenty of time on the play clock. Up the middle again. Driving his legs. Habibi-Likio. And Cyrus has them down at the 5-yard line. In a critical 3rd down here.
Tell you what, these two inside guards in the center are just manhandling people on the inside on this drive. Jake Hansen, one of those older guys, a 5th-year senior, has started a bunch of ball, and he is really controlling the action up there from his center position.
His 43rd career start. They fake the inside run. They throw it to Jalen Redd. Is he in?
I don't think the ball crossed the plane.
Big hit by Trent McDuffie. Now they signal touchdown.
They fake to Vegas. They have the double team blocks. The line is blocking run. Washington reads run, and they flip it out to Jalen Redd right away. Does the ball cross the plane?
Yes.
Sure does. Good call.
The progressive pylon cam.
Even though the knee was down, the ball had crossed the plane.
Ball was there first. Yep. Ball definitely across. The knee down, but you see the ball over the front of the line, and that's all it needs to do.
Great response by Oregon. They played field position. They went with a couple punts. They didn't panic. They stayed with their game plan of running the football and using play action off of it. And now they have taken the lead here in the football game.
Fans booing.
The ruling on the field of a touchdown is under review.
And all of this ground game does not come at the expense of a passing attack. You say you want one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
Right.
Why would you be so run heavy? But they've thrown it 38 times today. Knee going down now. It might not even be on the ground there yet, and that ball is over the front of the goal line.
Yeah, it just needs to break that white line. It doesn't need to be all the way in the end zone.
Knee not down, ball across the line, knee just going down now. Bill Lamagna, what say you?
Touchdown, confirm it. It's a great call by the officials. We've got a great pylon cam to support that.
You're exactly right, though, Sean, on the balance of this.
After review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown stands.
280 yards passing, a lot of it short. Justin Herbert hasn't had to hold on to the ball a long time. He's made good decisions. He hasn't forced any bad throws. Neither has Jacob Eason. Now, for the first time in a while, Jacob Eason will come on the field with his team behind in the football game.
Big extra point here for the freshman Camden Lewis, who hasn't missed one this season. This would give him a 4-point lead. And he's right down the middle. 5:10 to go. It's your turn, Jacob Eason, down by 4. It looks like they're having one of those seasons. They've had some wild games, and they've obviously won all of them. Camden Lewis kicks off for Oregon. They've come from 10 points down to take a 4-point lead with just more than 5 minutes to go. And another game right down to the wire. As we saw last year in Eugene, was tied at the end of every quarter. This is Jake Browning, 43 yards to Ty Jones. 2.5 minutes left in the third. That tied the game at 24. Still tied. They had a chance to win on the last play of regulation. Peyton Henry missed. He kicked the field goal in overtime, but then C.J. Verdell, a 6-yard run on 3rd and goal to give Oregon a 30-27 win. They were ranked 17th. Washington was number 7. That really knocked Washington out of the national championship picture. Washington trying to do that to Oregon today. Jacob Eason's been outstanding. Runs away from the pocket, throws, has Cade Otton. Looked like they didn't have anything. They wind up instead with a big gain, 22 yards to the 47.
You know, a couple times earlier in this year when he's wheeled out of the pocket like that, he's given too much ground. That time he wheeled pretty flat, so he got to the sideline, was able to get his shoulders square, set his feet, and make a nice throw out of the pocket for the first down.
Bush Hamdan, the quarterback coach, working with him to not give ground when under pressure, if it's at all possible. Savon Ahmed across midfield to the Oregon 49.
You know, Sean, I think when you look at quarterbacks like this and you want to evaluate them and judge them, there's a couple critical categories to look at. Third downs, red zone, and fourth quarter when games are on the line. Both of these guys have been excellent in the first two categories, and now we'll see what Jacob Eason can do in the fourth quarter. Herbert's off to a great start.
Ahmed trying to find room. He's in trouble and did well to get back just barely across the line of scrimmage. Isaac Slade, Latuatia. From the 48 now. 3rd down and 5. They don't have Aaron Fuller, their leading wide receiver. They don't have 2 of their best running backs in Sean McGrew and Richard Newton. But they're right here in the game, down by 4 as we near 3.5 minutes to go. Another in a long sequence of big 3rd down plays. We've seen some key 4th down plays as well. Looked like he got across the line to make. They're going to give him the 42. Terrell Bynum has had a very big day without Fuller. First down, Washington.
Big time throw, middle of the field. He's got to snap this off quickly and allow Bynum to get his shoulders across the line for the first down. Good quick throw and a nice solid catch with contact by Bynum.
Team high 6 catches for Bynum. Sophomore from Long Beach, California, 3 receptions all year long entering today. Ahmed.
I really like his patience. I mean, he does not rush anything. He's reading double teams. He's reading blocks. He's jumping a little bit in the hole, and he's finding creases to get that ball forward.
140 yards, 24 rushes. That's a career high. Without LeGrew and Newton, they're leaning on him. 2.5 minutes to go. The field goal out the window now. Pressure. He retreats and gets sacked. He kept retreating, but they kept forcing him back before he could move in any other direction except in retreat.
Well, Dye is going to run through the back. Pleasant was so deep that he wasn't able to get a good enough piece. That forced Easton to leave the pocket. Maybe he can throw that football away, but the pressure was so quick from Troy Dye, he couldn't get rid of it.
Popo, Amavai there as well. And now it's 3rd down and 18 from midfield. They have 2 timeouts left. 1:50 to go. Certainly 4-down territory here. 2 plays to get the 18 yards, and it looked like they moved at the left end of the offensive line.
Yeah, it was a long snap count. I think it's Trey Adams, the left tackle, who was working on the freshman.
False start.
Thibodeau.
Offense number 72. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Kayvon Thibodeau, one of the top recruits in the country right here. He's a speed rusher off the edge. And the veteran Trey Adams a little antsy to try to get in position to make the block. 2 plays in a row now. They've gone backwards and really put themselves in a hole here on 3rd and very long. Got to think about trying to get half the yardage back here if you're Jacob Eason.
Again, without their leading wide receiver, a deep threat in Aaron Fuller. Pressure again from Dye. Eason steps into the throw. Caught to the 35-yard line. They got most of it back, but they're 3 yards short. Marcus Spiker, his first catch of the season.
Beautiful job by Cade Otton this time picking up the blitz. They kept that tight end in kind of a wing position, and he was able to come in, get the blitz, and Easton was able to step up in the pocket that time to make the throw.
That's the first career touch for Marcus Spiker. What a time for it. Redshirt freshman.
Timeout, Oregon. Their first of the half.
With 58 seconds to go. One of the big plays of the team on 4th down. They're 2 for 2 today. And Todd, this is really their season if they want to have any chance of winning the Pac-12 North. 4th down and 3, down by 4.
And I think the guys you got to pay attention to, the 2 tight ends right here. One's at a wide receiver, and Otton is at the end of the line. They both have 3 catches in the game so far today.
4th and 3, 58 seconds to go. Oregon by 4. Eason throws incomplete. They want a flag in Seattle. They won't get it. Trying to get it to Puka Nacua. The Oregon defense holds. They take over on downs. And they're about to take a huge step toward the Pac-12 North title. The true freshman, Mikhail Wright, had the coverage.
He bumped him, too, on the way to the ball. There could have been a call for an interference here because he definitely made contact with Puka on the way to the football. It was a hard throw, a very difficult pass to Corral, but there was contact before the ball got there on the freshman, Mikhail Wright.
Well, let's bring in Bill Lamagna. Bill, do you think they should have thrown a flag there?
Contacts early. The receiver had him beat to the inside. The shoulder did go through the back. He played through the back. Could have had a pass interference call there, yes.
Could have, should have.
Should have.
And that's a huge no call. Herbert just trying to run around a little bit. Now he takes the knee. Washington has only 2 timeouts left, and they'll use one, or will they? They will.
Timeout, Washington. Their second of the half. 30 seconds.
So here's Cassidy Hubbard.
Sean, just want to show you today's All-State Mayhem moment. This happened earlier today. A scary sight as the Sooner schooner tipped over. Fortunately, everyone was okay, but no doubt mayhem in an otherwise easy win for Oklahoma. Sean Todd, back to you.
Well, thank goodness they're okay. That was a very tight turn. We saw not long ago one of them fell off and was holding on to the schooner as it went up the tunnel. You would imagine they'll be much more careful in the future. Big play by Wright. Freshman from Antelope Valley, California, might have gotten away with pass interference. I look from here like he did. And here's today's Pacific Life game summary. I think each quarterback, Todd, acquitted himself very well.
Yeah, absolutely. They both played well
Washington.
in major pressure situations.
30 seconds.
They were good in the red zone. They were good on third down. They were good in the fourth quarter. And Jacob Eason, after giving up that sack on the scramble, comes back, puts himself in a position on a 4th and 3, and just couldn't make the connection.
So we mentioned at the top of the telecast, Washington can't stop it again. FPI from ESPN says with an Oregon win today, they're 99% plus likely to win the Pac-12 North. And Washington's hopes are gone. And for all realistic purposes, they are 3 losses behind with 4 conference games left. But do you think Oregon helped itself today in the minds of those who picked the 4 teams in the college football playoff?
I think they did. I think people respect what kind of a program Chris Peterson has here at Washington. It's a physical team. It's a hard place to play. I think it's a good win for them. And, you just got to do what you can do if you're Oregon. That's take care of your business. Who would have ever thought Wisconsin would have lost the game today? So there's teams in front of them that still have to play and win, and all they can do is take care of their own business.
They're going to move up for sure. A road win against a good opponent in a tough place to play in Seattle. And that's 6 straight wins now for Mario Cristobal and the Oregon Ducks. They didn't do it with dominating defense as they did in each of the previous 5 when they didn't give up more than 7 points in any of those 5 wins. They gave up 31 today, but give the coaches credit. They stuck with the run game. That's their identity. It's who they want to be. They believe they'll wear down the opponent if they stick with it, and it looked like they did today. Herbert threw for 280 and 4 touchdowns. Here's Holly Rowe.
Well, I'm here with linebacker Troy Dye, and 4th down and game to go. How did your defense hold up in that moment?
Man, we knew it was just a big-time game, and big-time players make big-time plays, and we got 11 guys that are big-time players on our defense, and we just knew that it was a time to show the world that we're a defensive school, not just an offensive school. So we had a big point to prove, and we had a lot to make up from that week 1 loss against Auburn. So we came out here and proved everything we did. We gave up a lot of stuff that we shouldn't give up, but we came out and get the victory. That's all that matters.
You guys did give up more points in this game than you have the last 5 combined, but what did you pull together in that 3rd and 4th quarter defensively?
I mean, I think it just comes back to Coach Cristobal and Coach Phil, where they emphasize the 4th quarter finish. I mean, every day at practice we end with the 4th quarter finish. So I think the condition in the offseason, all the stuff that we've been through, all the stadiums, all the running around the field, all the practice field runs with the chains on, it paid off because we were better in shape than Washington. We was better equipped for this 4th quarter finish, man. We came out, we did what we needed to do.
All right, I saw 3 different times they put a cast on your hand. You got a bloody thumb, blood running down your arm. What did you play through today?
I broke my thumb in the 1st quarter, about the 1st series. And then I broke a cast too. So it is what it is, man. I'll do anything for my boys out here, man. I love these guys. They do everything for me. So, I mean, week in, week out, we got to come out here and leave it all out on the field for my guys.
You just played the rest of this game with a broken thumb.
Yes, man. We got to do what you got to do.
It's a rivalry game. Thank you, Troy.
Go Dog.
More great college football action tonight. Another ranked versus ranked. Shea Patterson, number 16, Michigan, against Sean Clifford and number 7, Penn State. Saturday Night Football presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. 11-game road losing streak for Michigan against